Today, we're going to talk you through 6 reasons why transport ticketing schemes need a mobile strategy. This is really all about mobile. It's what it means for our industry as transport ticketing providers, and it's about giving you a new perspective on how you can execute a mobile strategy right now. But before we go into that, I want to tell you a little bit about Snapper. Snapper is a contactless smart card ticketing scheme that's based in New Zealand. We've got over 300,000 cards on issue, and we've been running since 2008. And we do what most transport authorities do around the world. We facilitate the process of getting your customers from point A to point B using a smart card. We started off this journey with an integration with Korean Smart Card Corporation, and we started off with transport. But Snapper is so much more than that. Snapper is about retail. It's about using your Snapper card to buy a coffee, to catch a ride in a taxi, to pay for your on-street parking. And more recently, we've integrated with mobile. We've integrated mobile and the Snapper card to fundamentally change our customers' experience for the better. And it's that mobile journey that I want to take you on today. So why is mobile important for public transport ticketing? When we thought about this question, we thought about it from a strategic perspective. Why is mobile important? It's because it's eating the world. It's driving a shift in how and where we do things, how we work, how we communicate, how we connect. But it's caused significant challenges. In the transport ticketing industry, the technology that we use has not been designed to easily integrate with mobile. And we're faced with the secondary challenge of how do we leverage the power that is in our customers' hands while we're still trying to get a return on our existing investments. These two have not been compatible before now. And the situation only gets more complex with the move to open-loop payments. And the reality for our industry is that the promise for mobile and transport ticketing has been this. This is a picture of an old Nokia handset from decades ago being used in a mobile payments trial. And this is really the promise. It's about using your phone as a ticket. But the reality for most of us is that until your scheme moves to contactless EMV or open loop, you're not going to be able to use mobile as a ticket at scale. But we don't think you should give up. We think it's time to think different. It's time to think about using your smart card and the smartphone, not the smart card or the smartphone. So this presentation is really about sharing what we've learned and achieved as a transport ticketing provider, how we've taken advantage of these changes to improve the experience for our customers, how we've changed our own strategy, and how you too might be able to apply this in your market. And when we look at why mobile is important for public transport ticketing, the first reason is simple. Smartphones are exploding. They are taking over the world as we know it. This graph is from a series of presentations given by renowned analyst Benedict Evans, who coined the phrase, "Mobile is eating the world." In this first chart, we can see how mobile is outselling PCs. Right now, it's outselling PCs on a 2-to-1 basis. So when we look at how mobile is eating the world, it's eating PCs, it's eating the internet. More traffic on the internet is generated using mobile than PCs. It's eating cameras. More photos than ever before are being taken on smartphones than ever have been taken on normal cameras. You can see that it's starting to eat payments. Apple Pay recently announced that in the US, over the last period of time, 66% of all contactless EMV transactions were undertaken using Apple Pay. So that growth is phenomenal. And we think transport ticketing is the next industry to be eaten by mobile. The second reason why you need a mobile strategy is that the future is mobile. Some people, when they look at the mobile industry today, think that we've hit peak smartphone, that this is roughly where the growth ends. But when you look at this, it's not slowing down. Mobile has surpassed the PC right now. But if you zoom out, and you can see that this has got a very long way to run. The proportion of smartphones that are being sold as a percentage of all phones sold today is still only about 1/3. So we think that that the demand from your customers for more smartphone-oriented services is only going to increase. It's not going to stay stable. That pressure is going to intensify. The third reason why you need a mobile strategy for transport ticketing is that the payment and ticketing industries are converging. And this is a fundamental shift in our industry. It's much more fundamental than any other format change that we've seen. More fundamental than moving from a token to a mag stripe to a smart card. This is about changing the role of the transport operator. The transport operator shifts from being an owner and an operator of a scheme to being a merchant for the major global card schemes. And I think Transport for London said this best at a recent conference. They described their move into open payments ticketing as getting out of the ticketing business. And they're not the only ones. There are others. Salt Lake City, Cape Town, Chicago. And what this means is that you need to think about your investments and how they take you forwards. So when we look at this, we come up with reason number 4. And this is a good news reason. I mean, we've talked about challenges to date, but this is really starting to show the promise of what mobile can do. And mobile can deliver against a large number of these customer needs. And it's been able to demonstrate that in a number of places, but not in all areas. When we think about how mobile can deliver, we think about this in 3 ways. We think about this from being able to integrate with a smartphone, being able to integrate with your existing system, and being able to take you forwards to a world where open loop will be the predominant ticketing method. And I've got 3 examples here that I want to take you through. The first is QR code ticketing. This is used in a number of cities at the moment as a bolt-on to existing smart card systems. And it uses smartphones, which is great. But the systems and solutions that are being put forward to date don't integrate with your systems that stands today, and they don't take you forwards. There are some exceptions starting to emerge, and we're seeing that with VIX Technologies' trial in Rome. But by and large, these have been standalone systems. The second area has been mobile issuance. This is about getting your smart card onto a mobile phone. There are 3 markets where we've seen this operate at scale. There's Korea, there's Japan, and then there's New Zealand. But all other examples that we've seen have been pilots, tests, small experiments, and they've helped prove the technology, but they don't take you forwards, and they don't integrate with your system as it stands today. And the final example that we see is open loop. An open loop is looking like the future that we expect. It allows you to use your smartphone. It integrates with Apple Pay and the Android payment systems. It definitely takes you forward into an open loop future, but it doesn't integrate with your system as it stands today. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to build a system that did all 3 of these things, that used your smartphone, integrated with your existing system, and took you forwards. And when we looked at how we were going to solve this problem, we could have looked at this from a number of different perspectives, from a technology perspective, from a business perspective. But in the end, what really mattered was the customer perspective. What happens when you put the customer at the middle of the situation? And it turns out, when you put the customer at the middle, that you come up with the 5th reason, that mobile improves the user experience. When we observe customers using smart card ticketing systems, it turns out that their problems are not solved by putting a smart card in a phone. Their problems are all about service. Having to queue up for a ticket vending machine at rush hour. Having to find a retailer where they can reload their existing card. Having to wait on the end of a call centre for someone to resolve their issue. They want to know why they can't do all of these things on a smartphone app. And it turns out, if you use mobile to do this, you meet all of their core frustrations and needs right now. So that's the customer perspective. So the 6th reason, when we look at this, is that what is good for your customers is good for you as a transport ticketing authority. If you don't have to invest in as many ticket vending machines, if you don't have to invest in as much of a retail footprint, if you can serve your customers personally, anytime, anywhere, those are all good for you. They improve your business and they improve your customer experience. So those are the 6 main reasons. But because we're Snapper, we always have to give you a little bit extra. So we have a bonus reason for you. Reason number 7. And reason number 7 is that the technology is available that lets you do this now. It's mobile, it's secure, it's cloud-based, and it's proven in other industries. This is all proven technology that lets you integrate into your existing system without changing it. And that means that your costs are better and the complexity is lower. So let's review those 7 reasons. Here's why you need a mobile strategy if you're a transport ticketing authority. Smartphones are exploding. The future is mobile. Payment and ticketing industries are converging. Mobile can deliver on the problems that your customers are facing. Mobile improves the user experience. What's good for your customers is good for you. And the technology is available that lets you do this now. And when Snapper was considering these reasons, we realized we didn't actually have to do mobile the way that we normally were going to do these projects. We didn't have to do it the hard way. We didn't need a big complex project. We found a way to develop a service that integrates with what we already had, which was a scheme with a proven interoperability specification. So we put the team to work to develop a solution that could take us forward. And what we've resulted in is an architecture that allows us to bolt on services onto the side of our existing scheme. The architecture is scalable and it's secure. It maintains the integrity of our scheme. It starts on the left-hand side with the back office, where we interface our solution so it can take configuration data in and pass usage data back. And then on the other side, it integrates with the ecosystems, whether they be retail, online, or mobile. And it's all underpinned with a security manager that maintains the integrity of your scheme. So we started this journey in 2009 with retail. What we wanted was access to a large retail reload network at a reasonable cost. We didn't want to have to put in our own equipment into retailers. We wanted to leverage their existing payment terminal. So we integrated with Verifone. Verifone were the predominant supplier of payment terminals in the New Zealand market. And that gave us access to up to 50,000 terminals, which meant that we could select the retailers that were the best fit for our customers and that were aligned with our transport routes. And we could provide that service very quickly, not taking up much counter space, and providing a service that both retailers and customers enjoyed. And while that was really good, customers told us that they wanted more. Sometimes they couldn't get to a retailer. Sometimes it was a Sunday night. The parents were at home and needed to reload the kids' cards before school the next day. So they wanted to do reloads and balance checking using their computer. So we took this the next step. With a very simple USB smart card reader, we integrated the same service into our scheme. We provided a desktop application for PC and Mac, which gave our customers online and instant reload services from their home. Then in 2012, it was clear that mobile was ready. Android phones were available. The operating system was easy to integrate with. NFC was becoming a standard feature on these phones. So we developed a companion application. It allowed customers to reload their card, check their balance, and provide the self-service functionality. Customers could very easily do that simply by holding their Snapper card to their phone. So I want to dig into this application a bit more in terms of its performance for our customers. Firstly, the number of people who are using the application is continuing to grow. It's grown strongly since our first launch in 2012, and as we add more and more devices, we can see the addressable market for this service increase. It now makes up over 10% of our reloads, and we expect this to increase over time. So our customers are using it. The other thing that we measure with our customers is their satisfaction, and we use a tool called Net Promoter Score. Net Promoter Score is the best way that we've found to measure customer satisfaction. It segregates your customers into promoters or detractors, If you have more promoters than detractors, it's positive. If you have more detractors than promoters, it's negative. Good performance in a service industry is a score of between 0 and 20. Great performance is a score of 30 plus, and you're in Apple territory if you're operating above 50. Snapper's Net Promoter Score is consistently in the mid-30s. And this is mainly because of our mobile application. Here are some of the things that our customers are telling us. It's super fast and easy, especially with an NFC phone and Snapper app. So our customers are telling us that this is the most convenient way to reload their Snapper card. It's instant, and we don't even have to educate them about NFC phones or any of those things. They just get it. And lastly, for us, it's fundamentally driving an improvement in our economics. If you look at the typical cost of reload for a scheme, and these are figures from Transport for London, it's around 7%. And a large amount of this is in the cost of establishing retail networks, paying those retailers commissions, managing ticket vending machines and the like. What we've found by moving to mobile is that our cost is typically around 2.5%. It's a significant improvement, and that's because it's leveraging the power of the smartphone that is already in the customer's hands. So we've been executing this strategy for a while now, and what we're finding is every time we talk with transport authorities, this conversation is resonating. They want to know, how did we do this? And they also wanted to know, where could they get this? So being Snapper, we asked ourselves some more questions. What if we could actually help transport operators take advantage of mobile growth? What if we could help them leverage the smartphones that their customers already had? What if we could integrate the service that we had in Wellington with other schemes around the world? What if we could use that to deliver experiences that customers wanted? And what if we could improve Transport Authority's cost structure at the same time? So in 2014, we took the next step. We partnered with VIX to offer a solution to the NTA in Ireland. VIX have led this tender, and Snapper supports them with mobile reload services. The project is going great. We've passed our first major integration milestone before Christmas in 2014, and we've just completed the planning to get our production work underway for later in 2015. This project is proving that we can integrate with other schemes, that we can work remotely with customers on the other side of the world, and that we've got a great partnership approach to working with large organizations such as VIX. So now that we've demonstrated this, we want to take the next step. So we've announced that we're making this service available to transport authorities around the world. If you want to execute a mobile strategy, Snapper wants to help. We offer reload services for mobile, online, and retail. We can help you do much more with the investments that you've already made. All you need is a proven interoperability specification, and we will do the rest. We think every transport authority deserves the opportunity to take advantage of the shift to mobile. So if you want to know more, visit our website, services.snapper.co.nz, or follow us on Twitter @SnapperServices. We'd love to talk to you soon.